Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Market Watch Group Sunday Market Insights. My name is Scott. I will be your host. Possible tornadoes today and tomorrow. Where are you? In the Midwest? Steve C. Oklahoma. I was going to say, Texas, I used to have tornado warnings for soccer practice and stuff, So, yeah, I get you. But stay safe. As always, keep in mind this is for education and illustrative purposes only. We don't do anything that should be construed or intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any financial security or product. We're not brokers. We're not advisors. What are we going to do? We are going to posture the market. As always, we're going to orient around the market, make sure we have a real good sense, feel good about where we've been, what we've been doing, no complaints. Maybe a bit more activity, of course, would always be something that, but overall, it's been pretty solid. How's everybody feeling? And I mean with your trading now. Feeling all right? Are you feeling the way you would like to feel, I guess would be the ultimate question. Fair to Midland, got it. Liking the direction of our trading, agree. Confident, yes, Sandy. Bold. Trading confidence is getting better, Gene. I love it. Especially because you've only not feeling it. Uh-oh, Bob Rowland. You've been taking the alerts. They've been cracking pretty good. Have you been building some things? Tell me what's happening. All right. We will continue to slacken. Fair. Fair. I did recently update. So while the recordings have had no audio, I did update Market Posture Archive, if you want to go grab that. And the group watch list is up to date. If you want to go download that, you'll see exactly what we have today, and if you want to replicate that. So keep that in mind. But we will continue to do some searching here or there and flesh that watch list out a bit more. Definitely looking for our opportunity lists have been pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about getting those things set up. So let's definitely do that. And trading plan section of the week, especially if you're new. I hope you got some time in on section 1. It doesn't have to be a lot. All you needed was some bullet points for strengths and weaknesses, 3 paragraphs. That's it. Just that first, okay, let me take the first bite of this elephant, and now we're going to move on to the second. And the second trading plan section is market posture. It's an easy one. You have videos that you can literally just summarize, but essentially it's a foundation. I've definitely had people who say, I think that you should look at bonds, the government bonds. I think you should look. I have, and I've, what I have here is what I've settled on, but I'm not saying that that's comprehensive. So I definitely know people who, when they have left working with me, they've altered their market posture slightly. Great. I don't care. What I care is, do you have a routine that you're not relying on somebody else to assess the market for you? That's what I expect. Right? So if I went and asked somebody how they're feeling about the market, and they're like, well, let me go read the Wall Street Journal. Let me go watch CNBC. What? No, you need to assess the market. Then you're going to trade. And then you decide what news is the news that is important that we need to be paying attention to that might alter or act as a catalyst to push it one way or the other. So, yeah, as long as the routine is there, that's what matters to me. Audio. Yes. Everyone's hearing me still, just to make sure? Okay, good. Thank you. Let's get to it. It is now May 18th. How is it May 18th, you guys? That's what I want to know. I mean, my daughter's almost been home for a month. The summer's going to fly by. She'll be back in school. Okay, 5 by 5. Okay. Expecting some improvements here. What do you mean a problem was detected? I don't think there's a problem detected. Oh, right. Nope. I was like, I checked it literally 3 minutes before we got started. I'm like, is everything working? Is everything good? You guys know how finicky Thinkorswim can be on Sundays. Oh, speaking of, I haven't done this in a while. Broker check. Where's everyone trading? Just so I can kind of keep it in mind. I don't want to make assumptions. This is a great tool that I like. I like the charts. I like the tool. So I am a fan of Thinkorswim. But there are plenty. TradeStation. Got it. TOS and TS. Okay, so Gene's got both. I believe Glenn is a TradeStation guy. Is he not? Tasty Trade. I like Tasty Trade. They're Thinkorswim. It's the Thinkorswim guys. Just it's their next iteration of a product. I like it. I never migrated to it, but I do like it. Webull. Okay. Good app. I don't know how strong the order, their order game is or their analytical game. Tasty Trade, TOS, TradingView. I like TradingView. They've got some good tools. Okay. Helpful. Thanks, everybody. Very, very helpful. I feel like it's soup weather or stew weather here. It's cold and rainy. Anyway. All right. What are we going to score? I need drawing tools. Here's another question, too, I like to kind of keep a track of. Do you prefer, are you guys, and I mean each of you individually, do you prefer scoring it individually and then coming and listening? Like, do you score it before you get here? I know a few people do. Do you score it real time with me? Or do you just sort of watch the score and learn from it? I'm always curious because, to tell you, I don't score it before I get here. The last time I looked at it was Friday with you. And we give it a little bit of a preview where we're like, here's what we think we'll probably do. And it's always interesting because sometimes we're spot on, sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize. But I don't like to look at it. I like to see it with you and process it as we see it together. And I didn't know if you guys are the same way. Like, no, I just wait and see it with you and think about it and talk about it. Anyway, score first, then listen. Got it. I like that, Kami. Very nice. Super helpful to just kind of like, a little bit peek in on the journey each of you have individually, even though it is so similar what we're all doing. There's so many differences that people have the ability for. So appreciate you sharing. I'm definitely scoring this one higher. So as we looked at this, our concern was that it was, kind of stopping here. And so the fact that we broke that and got up, I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. I agree, Gene. I have looked at it before. Then when I come, I don't like the way I speak about it. I like to speak about it, where I'm processing it with you. Sometimes I forget to orient myself on what my score was, and I'm like, wait, what were we here? But I feel like it makes sure you end up where you should end up. right? That's the bottom line is, I tease, I don't know if other Steven is here. I tease him because he wants to be a bull, and I like, it's which is fine, right? He recognizes it. I have my own internal biases that I know I'm subject to, that I have to kind of like make sure didn't come in to the equation. But yes, I am definitely raising mine up 1/4 of a point. That's looking better. Let's kind of talk about this one and what we're looking for here. At this point, let's just say it starts to stall out and then pull back down. I mean, anything higher than this is a higher low, but it's just about where's the trend. If it comes and holds at that red line, I'll probably give it a full 1/2 of a point. Like when it holds, that red line is a 1 point line. So if it can find support there and it's back in there, that would take it to a 1. So I don't know how I would either would I give it another 1/4 and then give it a 1/2, or give it a 1/2 all at once? Probably a 1/2 all at once, because if it goes back down towards here, then I might only give it that 1/4 of a point and say, all right, I'm going to give it a 0.75. I don't know yet what the trend would be. That's what I'm thinking. How does this improve back to where we were, right? Where we were a 1 and 1 1/4. That's what we love to see. 1 1/4, 1 1/2. What's it going to take to get there? Well, we got one step of it. So, 1/4 point for me. I love that, Gene. I love the way you put it. More of a conversation than a speech, which is what I say to people. I hate monologuing. I like to feel like we have a dialogue, even though I'm the only one on the mic. I get that, but I do hope that's the way it comes off. Short term. Tell me if there's any disagreement. Are we feeling this? Like I could see someone being even a little higher than me. 0.75. Be hard to make the argument for a 1, but I think I would accept it. I think I'd be like, yeah, okay, fair. The long term, they've come back pretty hard and strong off of those lows. So yeah, I would be a little disinclined to not have positive. Like if somebody was, at 0, I would be like, oof, man, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. So, Kami says, I'm a risk management person. Beautiful way to start the comment. I'd like to know 80% before I score, going with 25, then 25. Yeah, beautiful. Love it. I love it. Such good dialogue today too, by the way, everybody. So good. Yes. I think we're all kind of seeing this. We're at the end of the day, what is it? It's increased underlying strength from institutions. This is who we're looking for on this weekly chart. We're not looking for retail traders on this weekly chart. We're looking to understand institutions. That's what's important about this. So seeing strength here certainly makes us happier. Let's pop down to this one. And again, we had a breakout. Kind of feel like I'm giving this maybe a 1/2 a point here. Because we got stalled at a resistance level. So tell me what you think about this logic. Stalled here last time, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 days were on the other side of that. So my thought is 1/4 of a point for the breakout, which got to here. So I'm going to say 0.25 for the breakout, and then I'm going to say 0.25 for the higher high. And you might be thinking, well, aren't they going to always happen that way? Not necessarily, right? If that was only a breakout, if it would have broken out and then pulled back, I probably would have only given it the 1/4 of a point. So the fact that we got follow through means for me, I'm leaning towards a 0.5 increase. That's a pretty, and now I want you to notice something. We are now, let's just kind of throw this chunk out. We do have, right, the makings of a trend. We've got a point there, and the making of a point there, a point there, and a point down there. So you could start to say, hey, I'm actually going to score this even stronger. Like if someone said, I'm going to actually give that I'll be like, whoa, maybe that's a little too aggressive for me in the market we're still in. But I'm actually feeling all right about giving that a full half of a point. 1. Okay. And Bob Walker, that's why we talk about it. There are many, many times where I don't know until I hear from you guys, like, you know what, I agree, we should do it this way. It's good to talk about it, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't think I thought I was going to give it a full half of a point when I talked about it on Friday. I think I only thought quarter. I think I thought half on volume, and I think volume was going to go. Kami said almost went 0.75. Fair. That's fair, man. It was strong. It broke out. We notice this. What have we not mentioned purposefully? Anything outside of what we see on that damn chart. Nothing else. We didn't talk about what happened, what news, what might be. That's the point of when we get into this. So what do we start with? What do you see? Nothing else. Not what do we think, what do we feel, what do we believe, what are we worried about, what do you see? And if we can get that and get it right, then we can convince ourselves to get the rest of it in line. I love it. Love it. Let's go. Good conversation so far. I think we're hitting the right stuff. Let's get to the volume. Oh, that was way too low. What am I doing? 1 month, 1 day. Okay, let's see. And sure enough, we got to add. Oops. Activate. What am I doing? I'm going to get it. I thought I had 2 of those. And let's move one back. And there we go. Okay. Now, that's big because for a couple of reasons. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 days of what? Well, we went from here to here. That was clearly the buyers on this big breakout. Then we went from here to here, another buyer's day. Then we paused. It opened down, but even with it opening down, we regained and then some, another buying day. And then, bam. What do we have? Average volume. Now, you'll notice back here, we never scored like this. It was a big day, but we didn't score it. Why? Because average was 109 million. That day was 93, and it didn't score. Yesterday was 76, and it did. That's how average volume works, right? Back here, we're like, we're not going to give it anything unless it. So what do we had to do? We had to organically wait for this to settle back down, and here you could see right through this little. Look at all these little candles, little. That's what just allowed this to ease up a little bit. Comes back. and then we're able to see things more clearly again. Boom, boom, boom. We went from a 0.25, which was a tie. Tie goes to the buyers, to a 0.4. 0 sell days, 4 buy days. I'm giving it a half a point. I'm giving it a half a point. Now, here's what's interesting, especially if you're new, about volume. Volume we expect, this is good news for us, because anytime we go back and you see when your volume got up to 0.75, or if it got down to minus 0.75, those are typically the things that like kicked it into gear the wrong way. Steve C asked, what would qualify for a full point? And the answer is, I don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, if we got 4 more buying next week, I'd be like, yeah, I kind of have to put it to a 1. I've never seen something like that. 8-0. I can't remember seeing something like that. But my policy is a reluctance to ever score something at the highest or lowest point. Early on in this process, I was shown a process similar to this by somebody. And then I took it and made it my own by trying to improve it, in my opinion. But one of the things I found was when I had too much whipsaw in my own score, my trading suffered. Hence, I don't like, oh, well, now this is down, right? You'll notice I will really try to talk us off the ledge of scoring negative trends and just taking points away. Why? Because I had to learn that for my own trading in order to not let the whipsaw of the market, right? Where it's like, no, we have to kind of understand the rhythm of the market and then make sure that this matches how that works. And that's, for me, what it does. But that's part of it is I'm very reluctant to go to, like, I've never scored a 2 or a 3 on the short or the long term. Ever. Never. I don't know if I've ever seen it. What is the best possible market that you could ever see look like? Because that's what you're scoring, right? Anyways, yeah, so that's helped me to just not have because anytime my score, and it's okay, like right now, our score is going to pop. We can feel it popping already. But that's a trend, and that's something we're looking for. -2.5, -1.75, -7.5, 0. Like, it's like, and it's not like we're like, hey, look, there's momentum. Maybe we should start trading bullishly. What have we been doing? We've been trading the score's improvement, the momentum. The score itself just is our orientation of like, what does it all put together to be so that we can keep it consistent. That's again, some people, I feel like they're like, oh, so you're trying to, build a crystal ball? No, not at all. Not at all. That's not at all what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to assess the market and assess the momentum of the market. Anyways, okay, so my volume, that's a big one. That's a big pop to see that much for me. It feels good. Whipsaw hurts my head. Yes, agreed. Thank you. Major market. These two, I have no idea. These will be interesting. But I find myself, because of that reluctance, when it does make a move like this, it tends to carry some significance with it, where it's like, hey, this is not us like hopeful. This is us processing the information, saying fundamentally, look at what's gotten better. Okay, so let's go to major market. Let's make sure we're all the way over. And what do we see already? Red, NASDAQ. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, look at that. We were scoring it down here, and then just boom, boom, boom. Within a matter of time, it's back up to the top. That's a hell of a climb. Russell still kind of left behind. So the small caps are like the little brother on the creaky bike that hasn't been oiled and doesn't work great and can't keep up. It's yelling, wait for me, wait for me. That's the small caps right now. Let's move down. And same thing. What do we see? Pop. Just popped up. It was lurking down here, and then it made a power move. Right? It was sitting in. We already had recognized a bit of recovery, but it was still kind of sitting down, and then it made that power move. So interesting. What was our score on this? Minus 0.5. Now, just because it's slightly ahead doesn't mean we're like, well, now we're bullish. Again, like it was a power move that it moved back up. But let's see what the 66 looks like. So this is pretty strong. This is still down. It's not positive here yet. Whew. I mean, I'm definitely raising it. Does this feel like it's a minus? This is our scoring position. Does this feel like it's a minus 0.25? Kind of feels like it's almost a zero as things have changed, right? Like, yeah, I kind of feel like that, where it's like we're giving recognition to the NASDAQ for a heavy push. It hasn't pushed into a leading. We're not trying to give it a bullish score. We're trying to say that, the NASDAQ has essentially wiped out that bearishness. That defensiveness. I agree. I think I'm just going to go there. But let's wait and see. Maybe the 22 day is what pushes us. And then you can see, even on the 22, well, there's the little brother keeping up all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm feeling it, you guys. What a score this time. Bam, right to zero. What a jump. We didn't last long in this little neutral range, it seems. Let's go see if the sectors showed a similar kind of a thing. Is that too much? I mean, I feel like I'm scoring what I see, not trying to be one way or the other, and this is what the score is showing up as. At the end of the day, we're still going to be like in the twos. It's not like we're like, let's throw 18 trades on. But certainly recognizing that what we've been talking about as far as, hey, conditions are improving, yes, it's true. Financials there, communication services there. And then all of a sudden, what? We have a surge by another growth sector. Another growth sector with discretionary. Did we trade something discretionary? EA. No, that's comm services. It's kind of both, right? Actually, EA. Now I'm curious. What is it considered? Not 18, but maybe 4 or 5. Fair. Right? That's fair. Analyze and fundamentals EA. They have them as communication services. Okay. Does IBM get put there as well? Information technology. I don't know. I kind of feel like EA has a foot in retail, right? A foot in consumer discretionary. That's just me. Okay. Utilities, though, still there. Industrials, And we know that we know technology is going to be making a run, so this should be an interesting one to see how this progresses. Let's go to 133. Okay. 133, what do we have? Financials, communication services, discretionary, industrials. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We do have utilities still in there, and then technology. Yeah, I think Stephen D got his score to a good place faster than I did. I think he was already at 0. I'm going to have to get maybe to positive. Okay. 66. I didn't feel slow at the time. Industrials. But you do still have this utilities just loitering. Right? Just loitering. You're like, sketchy. Staples. Well, here you go. This is why. So there was some good jumps. There was some good jumps for sure. Even here, because here's where we're scoring, remember? So on the 200 and the 133, yeah, we saw it. But here you'll notice industrials at the top. That's nice. But then we've got utilities, and then we have consumer staples. Then we have financials. Then we have technology. But still, I'm going to give it a 0. I'm going to say that looks pretty neutral, not a 20. Let's just go with a 0. Yeah. And let's go look at the 22-day. This is quite, there, look at what we have. Who's at the top? Technology. Who's next? Discretionary. Who's next? Industrials. And then after that, comm services. That's kind of that for me, that feels like when Kami says 4 or 5 really good trades, I feel like I want to get something in technology. Then I'd also like to get something in consumer discretionary. I'd probably like something in financials, industrials. Is that industrials? Which one was that? Industrials. And also, let's put communication services in there. How do you rank, assess, and I like them. Look at them. They're strong. They're third here. They're first here. What does that represent? That when you look at relatives, so remember, we're looking at relative strength. So every one of these is saying, let's look at these all from one starting point. Who's the strongest from that strong? Now, again, when we look at this, we know that we're really orienting around this bottom, but we're saying who's recovered the best? Industrials. Industrials has recovered from this point prior, but we don't only have 1 point. We have multiple points, right? That's why we can never be sure we have the right perspective. That's why we want multiple perspectives that allow us to see that. But no matter which one we use, who do you see? Industrials. Just kind of, hey, here we are. And again, as we get bullish, we know we're going to orient around those 5 sectors: technology, communication services, industrials, financials, consumer discretionary. Like, what do you mean? You mean like what's in it? What's in industrials? Caterpillar. Is that what you mean? Or bullish. Yeah. Sorry. Growth. It's one of our 5 growth oriented sectors. Yes. Right. So we look at staples. We look at utilities and a little bit of healthcare as being where we'll see defensive strength. We look at commodities and basic materials really as more like signs of inflation. And then we look at growth through the lens of these. So sorry that I didn't understand the meaning, but got it now. So yes, are we all on the same page with I think that now? That puts us to the VIX. I feel like the VIX is going to score as well today. Actually, no, I feel like it's not. Now that I think back to what I said on Friday, I feel like we already scored a half and that it won't have anything else to trigger. But let me just go see if that's right. So, yeah. We already scored this last time and the lower low last time. All we've done is just kind of kept on going. We're at this same lower low, like the previous low. Sorry, not lower low. We're at the same previous low. But for me to score this, I would need it to come up and score that lower high, I believe. Let me just see where we're at. No. This has to get positive. Sorry, I'm wrong. I think you're right, Press. I think you're right. Yeah, this is definitely into the positives at this point. I'm wondering if I maybe was and this is on me. If so, I feel like I maybe scored this one a little too slowly coming back, actually. -1 was on April 13th. I think I was slow, you guys. I think so, Press. I think it's got to be a positive. Yeah, it's got to be a positive. I think I was late. I'm going to actually mark this. I'm going to mark this for a review. We'll go light yellow. I don't want to scare myself into thinking it was bad. I agree. This it should be at least a 0.25, if not even maybe a little more. We're back in the teens. We've come down quite a bit. I mean, it wouldn't change much, but I feel like maybe I should have gotten there a little sooner. 0.25. Yeah, we did it. I mean, yeah, there was reason to be cautious, but it's like sometimes you just blink and you're like, oh shit, look at us. We're at 17. We were in the mid-20s last week in the middle of the week. So, yeah, maybe not. I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'll give a little grace. But, yeah, that feels right. Back in the 17s, back at this low. And if we take that low out, I think that'll be worth another 1/4 point, right? To get below this. If we break above and then come, and then if we end up like this next week, 1/4 point there for the lower high, 1/4 point there, maybe even a 1/4 point for that, because by the time we're down at 15, we should be a 1. And that would get us to a 1. So yeah, okay. That right there, if we end up at 15, that's how we'll get another 3/4 point, and that would put us at least at a 1. But it does look good to see the institutions back down in this range. What does this mean? Couple of things. You've already heard, hey, I'd have 4 or 5 trades on. If we end up with starting to have higher numbers of trades, and we have a VIX in the teens, what is that starting to add up to when we start to sniff something that we don't like? A hedge. We gotta be, right? Like the more comfortable we get with the market, the more our hedge radar turns on, and it's like, okay, beep, beep, beep. It's just looking, scouting, sniffing. We know, we know that if we can get a hedge on in the teens, how valuable that can be, especially if things do disrupt again. And I think we all know that a disruption certainly is I'm not going to say in the cards, but would have nobody shocked, right? We're wary, we're leery, we're on the lookout for it. Beginning of the week at Gap Support, yeah, I definitely popped it pretty hard, Steve. I agree, right? Like that's certainly we could make the argument that we say let's give it a quarter of a point for that, quarter of a point for pushing lower. So we were at 0.25 on 323. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I love it. Bob Walker always will go back in time and find me a nice correlation from the history of the posture. Luckily, he's never found anything. I don't know. Maybe he has, and he just didn't show me where he's like, look how out of whack this was. You were really, really wrong here. I'd be like, oh, yeah, shit. Sure was. Okay, let's go to the watch list. I think we're all in the same place. We likes what we sees. That's a big jump. 2.5. Big jump. I'm trying to think if we've had you see here we had a 1.5 and then another 3 after that was a big one. That kicked off some nice action. When we get jumps like that, it really has a tendency to kick things into gear. Especially from what? Coming out of this. Like, this is the best like type correlation. We went minus and then a 1.25, then a 2, then a 3.25, then a 4.25. This is the same kind of reversal in traction. This was when? This was 23, November and 23. Let's just take a quick peek back for a second, and then we'll get to our watch list. Daily go SPY. SPY. Yeah. I mean, it's funny now because it changes the perspective. So don't be like, oh, we're so dramatic now. I mean, look, this is what it is what it is. This was what it was. But what we're talking about is what happens here, right? In the recovery period. And then what comes out of that? That was a beautiful, absolutely a V. 100% that's a V. Yes, John. Yeah. In fact, and I hope you remember us talking about it in the throes when we're like, hey, this could be the bottom. And if it is, you're going to want to have at least something on. I mean, certainly, I wish we always look back and be like, I wish we would have had a bunch of things, not just 1 or 2 things, but like at the time, it makes sense. So, yeah, for sure. And now the focus is, are we convinced that it has what it needs for a V and we're not worried about like a double dip? Yes, for me, yes. 100%. I'm not, because of the strength. A double dip meaning all the way back down here, press, right? From here, my thought is I don't think we're going to get back below that 550 mark. That's what I think. Based on what? What I see. Based on my market posture, showing improvement. Now, could news come out that forces us to reevaluate? Of course, be water. That's our thought process. So, but in the meantime, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Which is what? Well, I mean, right now, I would imagine you're probably carrying some trades. We just put this on. We just put this on. This is still on, I would imagine. Does this all sound familiar? Are we all on the same page? I mean, it looks pretty good. These are the things I would want to have. I finished here. Anybody else? I finished. We got to 133. Where's my alert? Where's my alert page? EA, Reddit. Oh, Reddit. That'll be one to look at. MS. Boom, boom, boom. 129. We got there here. 133. We got there here. 129. Potential take profit target. 133. Full take profit target. I mean, if you didn't, are you going to be okay on Monday? Yeah, be fine. But I mean, look, we're there. This is Monday. This is what we were looking for. Dunzo funzo. Okay. IBM, you maybe decided to take some gains, even though it didn't get, where's IBM? 270. Didn't quite get there. Got close. For me, on a Friday, close enough. Close enough. It got as high as 268. It got within 2 points of the target of 270. I took the half off and decided to keep the rest and see what happens. Is 285 overly ambitious? Probably. I don't know. Maybe not. Let's give it a little bit and see. Maybe it keeps on going. Who's still in out of these trades with me? Who's in IBM? Who's in EA? Who's in CME? I actually took this one and I extended it out a little bit. I gave it more time. Same distance, more time. Yeah, so I mean, we have what? I mean, Reddit, EA, IBM, Duke. Okay, I did not get back into Duke when it broke that 50, but yeah, catching it, popping off of here. Okay, maybe a little bit of momentum. Like it. Let's get to the full watch list real quick here. You're in the wrong place. Apple. Apple could be flagging. If it breaks, I would think of it that way. AbbVie trying to find a bounce, maybe. Amazon, first one on for me. What did we say? We said consumer discretionary. Well, this is the 800-pound gorilla in that space, yeah? So there's the poll, there's the flag. Amazon is one that I would trade. Tell me if there's one that I missed or one that you're like, I don't know about that one, Scott. I'm open. Not yet. No pullback. BAC is maybe. So financials, I think we may start to see some things. Caterpillar. We would like to trade industrials, but there's no pullback here. So maybe we need to search industrials. I'm going to put CLS on the list. I mean, you could realistically put this whole thing in and say that's the flag. You could go here. I mean, it's hard. There's no real clear cut. You could go either way, I think. Give yourself some flexibility on how you might think about that one. CME is on. CMP already signaled, very similar to CME. We talked about those as developing at the same time. Cisco. I'm going to put Cisco as maybe. I mean, so strong coming out of earnings. Sandy, right? This one's yours that you like. I think it's worth a look. If this thing just gives us a little pullback and tries to go, let's be ready. Delta. Oh, yeah, look at Delta. Delta for the consumer discretionary. Love it. Looking good. Diamonds. EA already in place. Flex. It's kind of in a pause. I think you could definitely, I mean, there's some strength. Where you see strength, you should think about wanting to trade. GE Vernova, we've been waiting for this one. That's an industrial to put on the list. Gold's chopping around now. Google, a little overextended. Goldman Sachs, overextended. Hilton. I think you could look at Hilton as, as an alternative to potentially Delta. Hood, put it on the list. We missed it last time. I like it. We ended up in Morgan, which was fine. Howmet, no. IBM, on. ICE would have already given the signal, like CME. IWM, MasterCard. Meta, put it on the list. We're already at 9, looking good. Morgan Stanley. As soon as I have finished the trade for a profit, I'm going to put it back on the list, even though it hasn't started the pullback yet, as a matter of principle. So MS is on the list for me. Microsoft, I'm putting it on. It hasn't started a pullback, but bullish on this. I like it. I want to trade it. MicroStrategy, very nice. Nice looking setup there. Netflix, no. Overextended. NVIDIA, overextended. Palantir, overextended, but possibly flagging soon. You never know with our best friend PLTR. 1 for 1 already this new year. I'd like to catch another one. Continue in its 2024 glory. Philip Morris, I would say, yeah. I mean, it's defensive looking. It gave a signal already. PayPal, put it on the list. Someone gave me this one. Take a bow. Looks good. Roblox, overextended, hit its target. That was a beautiful one right there. A lot of the trades that we're looking for look just like this one now. That's what we're hoping to catch next, right? That's the exact type of a trade that we're looking to try to catch. Catching that strength. Reddit, put it on the list. I still have half. So I this trade was crazy. Basically like got in and out for half the trade, like there to there. And now it's pulling back and it's still kind of at that same spot. So if it turns, I'm going to put a new one on and hold the other half of the first one. It should be interesting, right? Anyone still playing around with this one? Should be fun. Rivian, overextended. I feel like our watch list looks good. A lot of strength, a lot of momentum. I feel like our short list, meaning our trade list, our opportunity, not like we want to short these things, but our not so long list, very strong. Very strong. We're at 15 stocks on our opportunity list. We're not even done yet. Beautiful. I'm expecting a good week. Rocket Labs is moving another good week. There's RTX, a full deep cup and handle. I don't know what the hell that thing's doing. I'm about to throw it off. SE with maybe a pullback starting to develop. Let's put it on. TPR in a consolidation. That could be tradable. Let's watch that. That's got some momentum. Tesla, overextended, but it is tradable. TSM. I'll put TSM on the list. It's a good watch list. SoFi. Bob Rowland. Sorry. It's close to the T's. It still counts. Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go. Financials look good. Isn't SoFi Tech? Isn't that financials? I believe it's financials. Twilio. 'Cause Is that the signal on SoFi? Let's go back. Press. Press says, is it close? Yes. It hasn't turned. It wasn't enough. You guys know that I'll look at like the high 1395. I'd want it to close probably at 1405. It actually closed at 1392. So I'd say it's very close. And what I would be looking for here, press, is I'd be looking for this extended flag. And I'd be thinking to myself, okay, still a good number. So I'd probably say 1410 maybe. Above 1410. Something along those lines. Where are we at? Visa overextended back at the high. And Walmart. So Walmart, we were looking at it. We liked it. It was earnings. Look at all that vol around the earnings. Yeah, there's nothing we can do with that. So, okay. Strong list. 18 on the opportunity list. I'm looking for, I think did we do 3 alerts last week? 4 alerts? 3 alerts? I can't remember now. I feel like we did 4. That was a big one. What's left? Trading plan. Do we ever look at I'll run through them sometimes, press. I can crank through them real fast if you'd like them. They're right here. There you can see basic materials showing a little bit. Communication services has some love. Energy, iffy. Financials showing love. Industrials, woo-hoo-hoo, look at industrials. Technology, you can see where the momentum is, right? Staples, not so much. Utilities, a little bit. Healthcare, nothing. We know where the money's going, right? We know where the money's going. Our list is full of good ones. What am I looking for? Trading plan outline. We finished with this section 1. You should have 3 bullets in strengths, 3 bullets in weaknesses, a paragraph about commitment and discipline, a paragraph for your mission statement, a paragraph for your vision statement. That's the starting point. You'll build it out from there. Not a ton. It's not like we are looking to create a vast document. We just want representative document. But for market forecasting, it's defining what we just did. Define the routine. What are you doing and why, and what is it going to tell you? And then you talk about what is the posture. Remember, market posture is not trading posture. Trading posture we talk about first thing tomorrow morning, which is the now what. Market posture is our overall. Trading posture is our now what. Then we get to the implications. What should the implications be? We should have an idea of what types of trades we should be thinking about. How long those trades are likely to take. What kind of risk am I thinking about here, right? Like one of the things as this market continues to improve, I'm going to be not taking half at my take profit, but only taking a third or a quarter. So I can let more run, right? Those are the shifts that are subtle. What strategies am I looking for? I'm looking for bounces, and I don't need continuation as a system anymore, where before I had to have that available because the conditions were harder. What are my tactics? Tighter stops, less take profits, things like that, right? So, and of course, hedging. Always thinking about, the more comfortable we get, the more we're like, should we be thinking about a hedge? What would make me trigger a hedge? What possible catalyst could push this and make me feel that way? We'll be talking about that during the week. Anytime the VIX is back in the teens, we'll be thinking about that to some extent. There's no signal developing. So I'm not like, oh, the sky is falling. I'm just saying, hey, look, the more I start to have heavier loads of trades on, the more I'm going to be thinking, what's going to trigger that hedge so I'm not going to be late with it. If you're late with the hedge, you're too late. So 4 minutes over. I feel like we did pretty good. Had some great discussions. The watch list is strong. The opportunity list is strong. The posture looks good. The market's improving. We seem to have pretty good alignment among this group of extremely smart and charismatic people. What more could you want? Anyone? Feeling all right? Going into Monday? Okay, so let's take a break. Let's take a break for about 21 hours. And then I'll see you in the morning, and we'll talk about some of these trade setups and some of these signals that we're managing, and we'll keep on keeping on. Love it. I feel like we navigated what happened as a group about as good as you're going to. Look around, ask people you know. How did it go for you? I don't think you'll find many that did as well as we did. So, let's pat ourselves on the back because we're awesome. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. As always, happy trading.
Recording.